Hey guys, welcome back to Jurassic Collectibles. So today we're taking a look at this guy. It's the Stegosaurus from Toyway's Carnage ReSaurus line. And these are fantastically detailed and articulated figures from 1997. Can you believe it? 1997, and they were making dinosaurs of this quality. We recently did an unboxing. These were very kindly sent over by one of our German friends, Demonds Reviews. I'll put a link to his channel down below. Thank you so much, Marcel from Demonds Reviews. It's very kind of you to send these over. And they're fantastically detailed, so we're really looking forward to reviewing this one today. Do check out the links for the unboxing down below, and also the last review we did, which was the Stegosaurus, which was my personal favourite. Okay, so I'll give you a little 360 of this guy so you can have a look at him from all angles. So, unlike the Stegosaurus, you may notice that this one comes with a display base, and the figure is separable from the display base. You can place him on that base and remove him, and it's also got a little Stegosaurus nameplate. We'll get a closer look in just a minute. But much like the Stegosaurus, this one boasts a very striking colour scheme, and probably for 1997 might have looked a little garish for dinosaur figures. It would have been the same year that Lost World came out in 1997, so we would have had a lot of earthy coloured dinosaurs from that line. So probably this one on the shelves stood out as a much more striking dinosaur, and was intended really more for the dinosaur collector than your passing child. So first up, here's a quick look at the base. As you can see at the front here, we've got a nameplate with Stegosaurus, and it's really nicely painted. They've taken the time to sculpt in like ferns and different plant life, and then you've got little bits of log and mud and earth there. So they've really gone to the trouble of creating quite a detailed base, and it's quite nicely painted as well. They've done this dry brushing with a lighter green, and I just think it really is like a nice addition to this figure, especially when you put him on your shelf. It really makes him stand out. Okay, so first off, here's a closer look at the body in its entirety, just so you can get a closer look. And the only thing I'd say proportionally that bugs me here is the actual thinness of this Stegosaurus. When you look at him front on, he tends to get a little bit skinny, and I think it might be because they used rubber for the whole of the body. So the head going through the torso and the tail is all made of one piece of rubber, and I don't know if that's kind of through the shrinkage process of manufacturing whether it's got thinner, but it certainly feels like a skinny dinosaur. But I do like the almost comic book stylization of the eye there, the black with the white dot. I think that's quite a nice little artistic touch, and I do like the contrast of the blood red with that sort of bright mustard yellow. As we continue down the neck, really nicely sculpted creases and folds, really nice looking skin, and you can see there's a few little plates just starting on the neck there, very nice. As we continue down the body, see again this very comic book like dramatic zigzag pattern going down the body, almost like something you'd find on the side of a motorcycle. Very dramatic, but I do like it. It's quite a stylized piece. As we move down the leg, you can see we've got some lovely creases and striations, some nice lines of compression around the feet there. Nicely painted toe claws and sculpted toe claws, very sort of elephantine, really nice. And as we move across the torso, really nicely sculpted folds and creases and little scales there. I like the way the skin hangs off the belly there, really nice. As we move up to the plates on the back, got some nice striations sculpted in there, really nice. It's got some nice sculpted cracks as well. I'm not sure about the colour on these. I wonder if there's too many colours going on in these plates, but still very nice, and I like the airbrushing that they've done. Even in this blood red, there's a really nice variation of colour, loads of different dark and sort of light reds, so I really like the fact that they've blended in a lot of colours there. Very nice. And then you can see here very clearly the hip bone riding across the back, very nice. And then as we move down the leg, very nicely sculpted crease lines, very sort of rhino-like feet, very nice. And also there's a nice sort of sense of weathering here. I transition from this mustard yellow to this grassy green, and it feels like this Stegosaurus has sort of been plodding around in the undergrowth, and the green has sort of rubbed off on its leg, and it's really nice attention to detail. These little spatters of green in here, I'm not so keen on those, but again, this is a very stylized piece. As we move down the back of the leg, really nice sort of tension here as the skin is being pulled taut as it joins up with the tail. And then a really nice sculpted tail. You can kind of make out the musculature running down the tail. And then here we come to the Stegosaurus weaponry, the tail spikes. And they are very nicely sculpted. I'm not sure why the base of them is painted a bony colour. I think that might be a mispaint, because obviously the bone would sort of protrude from the skin. On this side it's less noticeable, but on the other side it does feel like they've painted the skin part a bone colour, unfortunately. You can see here there's some air holes, but unfortunately this is not a posable tail. It's just a rubber tail, so it doesn't. I don't know if at one point maybe it did have a wire in there, but it doesn't seem to be working anymore. As we move down the tail, again, nice feeling of tension as the skin sort of gets pulled towards the leg. Nice feeling of musculature in this upper leg, and the sculpt is much more definite on this side. You can see that the crease lines are a lot clearer. Really nicely sculpted foot there. As we move across the torso, again, love this sort of hanging skin, and also the feeling of the hip bone there, very nice, protruding through. Just really nice attention to detail all over. I mean, this is a cracking piece. And on the underside we've got this sort of very dirty grungy yellow, a little bit like the green on the feet. Very nice indeed. And then we come back to that head sculpt. So out of the three, the Stegosaurus is actually the one with the least articulation, but it's still pretty good in terms of dinosaur figures. You can see here the leg rotates backwards and forwards. It can go, oh, it's come off. It's going to pop right back on, I can see. But that happens far too often on this channel. So anyway, the elbow bends quite far, you can see, and also extends quite far, which is really nice. You can get some nice extended leg poses out of that sort of mid-stride. This leg goes backwards and forwards. I'm not going to push it too far. And the lower leg does bend quite far. Look at that. So you can get some really nice, and bends forwards really far as well. So you can get some really nice poses out of these legs. It's the same on the opposite side, but that's it for articulation. Like I said, it does have these sort of holes in the tail that make you think maybe it's a wire in there, but as far as I can tell, it doesn't really want to stay in any pose. Same with the neck, actually, now that I look at it. But if you own this guy, let me know below if there are wire parts in the neck and the tail, because for mine it certainly isn't posable. So how big is this guy? Let's give him a little measure. He is about 11 inches long, which is about 28 centimeters, and in terms of the height you're looking at about 7 inches, which is about 18 centimeters tall. Size comparison time, let's bring in the Toyway Resaurus. And you can see that he kind of comes up to about the shoulder of the Stegosaurus, excluding the tall horns. His general body mass isn't as tall as the Stegosaurus, but he's much wider. If I put them side by side, you can see the Styracosaurus looks much more proportionally accurate in terms of its width. Next up, let's bring in the Pacific Rim knife head, and this is from the Series 1 collection, which is the smaller knife head, and you can see that he comes up just to about the top plates of the Stegosaurus there, but it gives you some idea how big this guy is. So there we have it, guys. That was today's look at the Toyway ReSaurus Carnage Stegosaurus. It's a really nice figure, very nicely detailed. As I said, it's a shame that some sort of form of shrinkage has caused this dinosaur to be this narrow. It's even noticeable actually when you look at the way the legs are a little bit bowed. When he stands up, the legs are a little bit bowed out to either side. So it's a shame really that he's so skinny. I think that is due to a rubber shrinkage over time, or maybe in the manufacturing process. Let me know though, guys, what do you think? I think it's still a very nice stylized figure, and the detail is stunning, especially for 1997. Do you own this one already? Let me know, and as usual, comment, rate and subscribe. Okay guys, see you in the next video.